In 2023, Americans spent over $40 billion on fast food pizza. Over half of that $40 billion was spent on just 12 nationally recognized restaurants. The restaurants that we're talking about today aren't just your standard mom and pop. So what is fast food pizza? These restaurants are called QSRs, also known as a quick service restaurant. They're built for speed and scale. Are they really that good to consume that much of the market? It's high time we find a true king. So today we're gonna put all these pizzerias to the test to see which one is the best. Starting with Papa John's. This is their classic cheese. It just smells like, close your eyes. You're at Chuck E. Cheese right now.
I smell the ball pit right now.
Now that we're at our first stop, let me explain some rules. To keep things fair, we're eating 2 pizzas at every stop. A baseline crust with cheese and whatever their most classic pizza is. We're then going to rate them on the classic internet tier list according to the best experience we had overall. So may the best pizzeria win. Cheers. Surprising that there's a crunch in that, but not much.
Solid start, not so solid, but just a start.
This is their pizza with the works. We flipped this one over because it fell apart when we were trying to take B-roll of it.
Sometimes when there's too much ingredients, even though they're better ingredients, better pizza, that happens.
These are not better ingredients. These are the same average ingredients you get at any other goddamn pizza shop. What in here is better? Like the pepperoni? No. The flavor of both of these pizzas is like if a violinist was like, I'm gonna play for an arena, and then they didn't hook their violin up to the goddamn speaker system. What I'm trying to say is the flavor profile of this is pretty low. It doesn't taste bad though. I wanted to clarify that. It tastes good. The pizza sauce isn't too sweet, but the flavor to me is just lacking.
It smells better than it tastes.
I wasn't delighted by this experience. It was a solid flat C.
Yeah, I would go C.
Papa John's, C tier, moving on. We're at Jet's Pizza. I've never been here before, but I do think it's very funny on the boxes that they put so many words. I think they did that because they couldn't decide what the to say because their slogan is better because it has to be. This better be good pizza because it has to be. It's a Detroit style pizza and this is their classic cheese. Here we go. Oh God. That burned the out of me. I will say it's good. This is their super special Detroit style pizza. All right, well, see how special it is.
It's like Spider-Man hanging, dude.
I didn't like that one as much. That tastes like Chuck E. Cheese pizza for some reason.
100%.
The cheese one was like 10 times better than the super special whatever. But that said, cheese quality nice, good amount of chew, they caramelized it nicely. I don't like the sauce. It's a little too ketchup-y of a sauce for me. I feel like if there was a little more flavor in it, I'd be happier, but maybe the cheese one is different because I did really enjoy the cheese. I'll give it a solid B+.
Before I rate this, I heard Jets was known for the ranch.
They
give you a bottle of ranch.
Where was that? And then so you just take this guy and you just, did that amplify?
It did, it did. We're not gonna sauce everything because Papa John's has that garlic sauce that gives me even B.
Why did they give us a whole bottle and where was this originally?
Smell it.
Jet's Pizza, B tier, moving on. Here we go, we're at Blaze. I will say, visually this pizza does look better. I don't like that there's not much puff in the crust. It feels a little too like commercial pizza, but on a positive note, the cheese looks legit. The toppings aren't falling off like the Papa John's one. The dough's noticeably better. The next one is some sort of barbecue chicken pizza. Cheers.
This one should have been cooked a little bit longer. I think the cheese one was cooked great.
I do have some critiques. The flavor is better and more noticeable, but still a little flat. I do appreciate that this has a crisp bottom, just like me. The texture of the dough is a little too chewy. I feel like they could pull back the chewiness by like 10%, but that's just me being a real about it.
Your tongue touches the bottom, which has that nice like roasted taste. So Max, my son, I've watched him eat pizza and he always eats it upside down. I thought it was weird, but he has a point. All the toppings are on the top. Your tongue touches the toppings first. I mean, it's a thin crust pizza, but when we're eating it, it reminds me more of a flatbread than an actual pizza. I want it to be an A.
Yeah.
It's not as bready as most QSR pizzas, but it's good. It was a B+.
You know what? I think this is deserving of a solid B tier. Little Caesars, #3 grossing pizza in America. But it certainly didn't help them with this undercooked, flaccid pizza, now did it? $4.4 billion, that's what that got you.
He's mad, everyone. That's just mush.
Yeah, just mushy. The dough is not good. Crazy because the dough is made in a distribution center that they can then make perfect and ship out to all of their individual stores, right? And even then, when they had the opportunity to do so in mass, at scale, with all that money, they f***ed it up. They didn't put enough salt, they didn't put enough sugar. How the f*** do you let that happen?
This is called a 3-meat treat, stuffed crust.
It's all right. It's 100% relying on the saltiness from the bacon. If this didn't have all the bacon, pepperoni, pre-made ingredients that they didn't even make in-house on top to save it, this pizza would be just as bland. But it tastes good with the pepperoni and the bacon, right? That's all you really taste. You're not tasting the pizza. I'm giving it an F.
I was gonna say D+.
We'll just average this out to essentially a very, very low D. Congrats, you stayed off the bottom of the barrel, barely. We're at Hungry Howie's. Supposedly they were the first to invent the flavored crust pizza. First one we're starting with is just regular cheese, no flavor crust. Cheers. It's very focaccia-like, not pizza-like. The dough is undersalted too.
That's why they invented the seasoned crust, because the dough is just bland.
Anticipatory, yeah. Pepperoni pizza with the garlic cheese butter crust. It does look good.
It smells good.
I like the crust.
Crust was nice.
It's good.
That salty bite I had of the crust was really nice.
Pepperoni's crispy. It actually wasn't crispy.
It looked crispy, but did not have a single crunch.
Yeah. Everything else on this pizza is very mid. I mean, out of all the pizzas we've had so far, the flavored crust is not saving this for me. This is like a C.
It's C.
Moving on. We're adding a bonus pizza, the Costco pizza. It's too important not to include this, okay? They definitely don't win in the grossing department because this is not their main business technically, but it's Costco pizza. If we didn't include it, I feel like we'd get yelled at, to be honest with you. We've got cheese and pepperoni, the only two they offer. Starting with cheese, bada bing, bada boom,
Oh, yeah.
Cheapest pizza in the video tastes identical to many of the pizzas we had so far. But look at the ratio of cheese to bread. There is so much cheese on this.
Damn.
All right, pepperoni. You know what's funny? I can barely taste the pepperoni.
The pepperoni is super subtle.
As Andy Herndon would have put this,
Pretty unoffensive, right?
it's okay. The sauce isn't too sweet. It's undersalted though, not that flavorful. There's a lot of cheese, but it doesn't taste like much.
I mean, with overall experience, I'm paying $9.99 for one large
That's a
pie.
good point. It's a good point.
For the quality of that price, I'm giving this a B. B for bang for your buck.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. B.
Costco, I miss the Supreme. Bring it back.
Costco, good work. B tier. Moving on. Our next stop is Godfather's in Houston, Texas, but I'm not going back there unless I absolutely have to. So it's time to bring in the big guns.
Hi, I'm Maya. I'm the head of post-production for the channel, and I don't usually get out of my little cubby hole in front of my computer. Joke's on me because apparently it's about to rain, so let's hope this pizza's good. Today I'm gonna be trying the classic cheese on original crust. All right, cheers. I say this lovingly, but this reminds me of like your cafeteria school pizza from a nostalgic point of view. It's pretty doughy. It's also very bready in my opinion. There's not as much of a proportionate ratio of cheese, sauce, and dough. It's just not the pizza that I really would gravitate towards. I'll also be trying the classic combo on original crust, which features pepperoni, beef, sausage, onions, black olives, mushrooms, and mozzarella cheese. This is better than the classic cheese pizza, but only because there actually has more toppings to it. There is no difference in terms of crust or how the actual bread is cooked or baked. There are people who really like this type of pizza who would enjoy more of a bready type of bite. To me, it's more of a C-tier pizza. I'm sorry, I feel bad.
All right, we're at Papa Murphy's. When I came out with the pizza, my first thought was, wait a minute, this isn't baked. It's a take and bake restaurant. I'd never heard of this before. I didn't even know this was a thing, but it's done $750 million. I guess we don't get to eat it now. We have to take it all the way home. This is a crazy concept. They literally didn't do any of the work. They're just like, here you go, yourself. There are baking instructions on this.
It's just a huge paper plate.
This can go in the oven. Leave the pizza on this tray. That's concerning. 12 to 18 minutes, and we'll see in a second. This better be good. This is DiGiorno's quality.
This isn't DiGiorno. This is the struggle.
Try the other one. Maybe this will redeem it for me. The toppings taste good because it's bacon and ranch. Of course it's gonna be good, but that's the only thing it has going for it.
Dough sucks.
This is the freshest dough we've had. We've proofed it here and then we baked it fresh. That should be the greatest dough that we've had all day, and it is by far the very worst dough I've had. It's under seasoned. It's got that frozen DiGiorno's flavor. It just doesn't taste like fresh, good quality bread. It tastes like plasticky, and I taste no yeast in it. I will say I like the crunch on the outside. That's kind of fun.
Chicken's whatever, ranch is okay.
I had high hopes for this, and I really wasn't expecting to dislike it as much as I do, but I would describe the flavor as almost Hot Pocket-like, which I guess if you like that, that's great. But this is a competition of who makes the best pizza, not who makes the Hot Pocket. It's an F in my book. This is horrible.
It's an F.
That's an F. I will never do this again. We're at Cici's Pizza.
Chi-Chi.
Yeah, he's been calling it Chi-Chi's Pizza.
Chi-Chi's.
Cheese pizza. This is clearly a frozen crust. It's very stiff, but not in a good way.
Cheers. It's not as bland as some that we've had.
Texturally, it's a nightmare. It's so soft, no crispness, but it is garlicky, which I like.
Yeah, this is called a zesty pepperoni. Instead of marinara, it's gonna be ranch.
I don't taste the ranch at all.
It's also supposed to be brushed with butter and Parmesan. I'm not getting any of that.
It makes sense that they have an all-you-can-eat buffet because it's the only way that they can get rid of the food. No one actually wants to buy it, so as long as you can just keep eating it for a small price, at least they'll get rid of their ingredients.
Look at the box. What did it say here? The best pizza value anywhere. Tell that to Costco.
They know their product is so that they won't even say the best pizza. They just say the best pizza value. We'll give this to you, the cheapest mother you'll get. This is a solid D for me.
Not an F, but a D.
It's edging the F though. So we're at Sbarro, the original New York pizza. I think a lot of people would be really unhappy about that statement because that's not what this is. This is not New York pizza. But second off, they filed for bankruptcy. Thankfully, they're on a positive upswing today at a gas station next to a jail. But I'm not judging Sbarro by that. I don't judge a book by its cover. I judge it by its taste.
It starts off with a funk, like almost like someone chewed it and spit in your mouth. Like throw up
Why
almost.
didn't you say that to me?
That's just my opinion.
That's just bad. It's got chew, but it's not a good chew. It's like a rubber band chew, and there was no salt present, period. The Supreme version, I guess? You know, this is like bringing down the energy.
You know what's worse than no flavor? Bad flavor. That's what this has. At least you could fix no flavor. I don't think you can fix this. Honestly, I think it's an F.
It's an F, but we're not finished. We still have a few to go, including two of the biggest in the country. Moving on. All right, Pizza Hut, listen. They say no one can out Pizza the Hut, but in my opinion, everyone has out Pizza the Hut, including me. Remember that time you commented on my post and you said, we have your location, Joshua? Well, you never pulled up because you're a bunch of cheese pizza from Pizza Hut. You know, if I was doing $5.5 billion in revenue just selling pizza, I also wouldn't give a shit about my product because that is not good.
I usually chew my food. That was like 3 bites and it just disappeared.
It's got a crunch, but the inside is just no chew. Now we're on to their most popular pizza, the stuffed crust pepperoni. You know, funny enough, this is better only because it's got so much cheese.
It tastes exactly how it did back then, so they're consistent.
Pizza should have like a chewy, stretchy, nice toothsome texture to it with some crispiness on it. This has very little crispiness, very bready, like Wonder Bread, almost cake-like.
And the crust is pretty bland.
I know I'm talking a little bit of mess here, but neither of these pizzas taste bad. They're just not pizza. And this is on the lower end of what a pizza should be. Sure, it tastes good. Of course I could eat this pizza, especially if I was intoxicated. The pepperonis are good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the best thing about this one is just pepperonis.
Pepperonis are good. I mean, that's it. This is the exact kind of pizza that Italians look at America and laugh at us for. I'm just gonna rate it. It's a C tier.
It's below mid, so I'm gonna give this one a D.
Oh, I forgot there's D tier. I meant to say D. Ultimately, this boils down to a D tier. Moving on. We're at Chuck E. Cheese, and I am shocked. This is right underneath sales of Blaze Pizza, and as a delivery service, over $300 million in sales is crazy.
Who wakes up and goes, oh, you know what, I'm craving pizza. Who wants to order Chuck E. Cheese?
I'm afraid to eat this because it's coming from the general vicinity of a bunch of children that are touching all these knobs, and I just feel like the people that work there are touching all the stuff that the kids are touching. We're gonna eat it anyway. If I get a stomach virus from this, I'm gonna be really pissed off.
It's gonna taste like ball pit.
This tastes like almost nothing.
I was gonna say, this is the closest to cardboard I've ever eaten.
The sauce is there texturally, but the flavor isn't. The cheese is there texturally, but the flavor is barely there, and the dough tastes like nothing. Normally we'd expect like a sweet sauce or something like that, especially since there's kids, except the sauce is sort of just not
I think
there.
it might be just tomato paste.
Honestly, I think tomato paste would be more flavorful than this.
Yeah.
This is probably gonna taste better. This is the 5 meat because it has 5 meats on it to help carry what is not there. Would you look at that? It tastes like bacon, ham, and pepperoni, which tastes good, but the pizza itself does not.
After like the 5th chew, it all disappears.
Yeah. Out of all the pizzas that we've had today, I'm gonna give this one a solid fat F.
It's an F.
I mean, it's Chuck E. Cheese. Moving on. All right, we're at Mod Pizza, basically the Chipotle of pizza in a way, right? This is one of the better looking mods, but I got one issue. We ordered this in a timely manner, and it is ice cold. At least it's not sweet. I appreciate that. I don't like the crust at all. If you took a thicker tortilla and put it in their pizza oven with cheese and sauce, it would be the same thing.
It's good, it's not great. I do like Blaze's crust better.
The Mad Dog. I kind of like this one. Flavor on this is really nice. I will say. So sauce still lackluster, crust I don't like it, but the flavor of the topping is wonderful.
I kind of like the crust.
You like the crust?
Not like a flatbread, but almost there's just a crisp to it versus just like a chew. Blaze is better, but I'm starting to like this better than Blaze the more I eat it. This one's beating the cheese one for sure. I like the flavor of meat on there. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's like the crust grows on you.
Like if this was more of like an ideal Neapolitan style crust, I'd be happier with it personally. Less tortilla-like. I don't like how thin it is. It's not bad. The flavor's pretty good. I'll give it a B tier.
Overall, this is a pretty B experience.
Not bad Mod Pizza. B tier. Moving on. We're at the highest grossing pizza place in the world?
America.
In America? $9 billion in sales annually. What could it possibly be?
It's the 555 deal. Do they still have that?
I don't think they do. But it is Domino's. This is probably the most anticipated place right next to Pizza Hut, but Pizza Hut was a total flop. So hopefully Domino's pulls through. Cheers. There's no crust in the world that could save that atrocious sauce. That is rough. Crust by itself, not bad. It's kind of garlic bread.
butter, yeah.
I like that. No pizza purist on planet Earth would verify this crust to be good. It's like very, very, very mid, almost below mid, but the flavor of it's nice. I do like that garlic bread flavor. The cheese is almost, you can't even notice it. There's a little bit of like a fake parm flavor, which I guess is kind of nice.
Probably on the crust.
This is their New York slice. Their most popular. Cheers.
Texture of the crust is good.
Crust is way better. The sauce is not.
Has that chewy you're talking about, but not too chewy.
It disintegrates a little too early,
Well, look at that. It's like a cracker.
but it is thin. This New York style surprised me. I didn't think it was gonna be that different. I thought they were just gonna be like, oh, we put some pepperoni on it. F you. If I was in New York tasting this, like we did in our New York pizza video, where we found the best New York pizza, it'd be below mid, but it wouldn't be at the bottom of the list. The sauce killed this pizza though. So honestly, all things considered, if you like ketchup on your pizza, then you'll like this pizza, but if you don't, it's a solid C tier.
It's better than Papa John's, but it's a C.
It's not high enough to go to the B territory just because of what we have rated B, so this is gonna have to fall into the C category. All right, the big three are all done, and we haven't even cracked an A tier yet, which brings me to Marco's Pizza. Could this be our lone A tier? I have never even heard of this place, and I'm gonna be honest, on the outside, it looks old, but I think I might be wrong because this pizza looks like one of the best ones we've had, just visually. All right, the cheese.
Off you do.
Oh yes, please. Wow, dude. I really like that ratio.
It's a good crust to cheese to sauce ratio.
The cheese is beautifully browned and burnished.
No one gets it that dark on the cheese.
Yeah.
They care.
The pepperonis are crisp. Two kinds of pepperoni. I'm kind of hype about this pizza. You want me to feed this to you?
Damn. Two types of pepperoni is where it's at. You got the slightly chewy flat pepperoni and then the crispy cup pepperoni. You need that. Try that crust. She's light, just so crisp.
You see what I mean though? This is like the type of chew I prefer. This is like there's resistance, but it melts like a nice steak. Crisp bottom, the dough feels good. It's got a little bit of a QSR flavor. Like it does still taste kind of like commercialized pizza, but the sauce isn't overly sweet. It's seasoned nicely. It's not like got tons of oregano in there. It's nice and balanced. The cheese flavor is nice. The cheese texture is nice. The pepperonis taste perfect. Papa John's wishes that they could do this.
I've never had a QSR pizza that hit me like this sober. It's an S tier pizza. Let's fucking go.
That is an S tier pizza. Unreal. That means that Marco's is the one and only S tier QSR fast food pizza that we had ever had. We tried every single one that exists in America, and Marco's somehow stood on top. I judged a book by its cover. I was wrong. I looked at the outside, I saw the branding, and I said, this place is stuck in 1972. There's no f***ing way this is a good pizza. Turns out, Marco's won. The moral of the story is, although there was a winner today, I would like to ask you to go and support your local pizza places anywhere that's near you. Ideally, maybe a smaller, family-owned, mom and pop type shop. They're probably making number one, better pizza. Number two, you're supporting a local business. And number three, it's good for the local economy, all right? Support those around you. Maybe avoid the big dogs. They're doing just fine. God damn, how many jobs does bro have?
Side hustle.
They didn't let me touch the rat. I wanted to touch the rat and they said, don't touch that. So I hit him.